So what is a continuation play? If you don't know, make sure to stay tuned. I'm going to explain what a continuation play is, and it looks like we're going to have to start bringing them back. So stay tuned on Market Open Trading. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. I'm here with Market Open Trading. Now, it's a zero trade day today, unfortunately. Didn't really have that many good stocks on the watch list. The only one that I really liked was PTCT, but unfortunately it sold off this morning, and it's just kind of going a little sideways this morning. So it sold off and went the complete opposite way of what I wanted it to do. So if it gapped up, I'm looking to take it for a long. Now, to me, after it sold off, I wasn't really paying attention to it. There is one entry that I did miss here, looking back on it. I typically don't like to take trades under VWAP in the 9, but this looks pretty good here over the 46. You'll see it came down, consolidated across the 46, and then popped. But yeah, I didn't take that trade. As you can see, I actually didn't take any trades today. It's just nothing really set up for me. JD was kind of going sideways. SLDB was really crappy volume. Disney went up. VRX didn't set up. And then the only thing I had left was PTCT, which it kind of ended up selling off. So now, a continuation play. Let's talk about that. So a continuation play is a continuation of the trend. Now, I've noticed here over the past couple of days, over the past couple of weeks, actually, that the continuation plays are actually starting to come back into play now because of earnings seasons. Earnings seasons are over, which means that companies are not going to be putting out as much PR. All the stuff, all the news that's kind of coming out now is a bunch of fluff, really. There's really not too many good news out there. This morning there was a Google and JD news, which didn't really affect it. I think Google is putting $550 million into a Chinese internet company, which is JD. And as you can tell here, it gapped up a little bit, but then it sold off for the rest of the day. So it's not really quite my cup of tea here. You could have taken a counter trend here with a VWAP projection, but I just not my cup of tea. Like I said, it's counter trend, and it's not really typically what I trade. Now, the continuation plays. I did notice later on, probably 30-45 minutes after I had missed a good entry on GOOS. GOOS, if you guys will remember, if you guys are part of the Facebook room, I called this out on Friday, I believe. So I think they reported earnings or something. No. Yeah, it was. Okay, yeah. So they reported earnings and on here, and they did relatively well. And it finished strong on Friday. It finished near highs. So whenever a company like that finishes near highs and it gaps up above any sort of resistance, like GOOS did. So if you notice here, look at the daily chart. This is a 50-day moving average. This is a 200-day moving average. Now, when a company gaps up and over all sorts of resistance, and that day it finishes up near its highs, that will give you an indication that you need to keep an eye out for it for the very next day. Now, GOOS finished strong on Friday, which means that it would be a good watch for Monday. Now, this is something that I was paying attention to, and I was doing a lot of continuation plays before earnings season when it's a little bit slower. There weren't really as many plays. And I haven't been doing them lately because we were in the middle of earnings season. There were a lot of companies putting out a lot of PR numbers and all that stuff, so there was plenty of stocks to play. Now we're in the midst of summer, and there's really not a lot of things to play. As you can tell, I didn't take any trades today, which is unlike, it's not very typical for me to not take any trades, but when something doesn't set up well enough for me to be able to take it, or with the trend or something like that that's within my wheelhouse of taking, I'm just going to go ahead and sit on my hands and not take any trades. So, but if you notice that GOOS this morning set up on a perfect opening range breakout, or a 3-candle play, whatever you guys want to call it. I typically like to call it an ORB. So ORB pattern is a long green candle. So it opened up and it passed over any sort of resistance that I had from the previous day. So it cleared the high. So I'll put a little mark here. Boom, right there. All right, so 61 something, 61.80. So very first candle cleared the Friday's highs, and then it slightly pulled back. Your entry would be the high of this candle. Now, I'm mentioning this as if I was to take it. Obviously, I didn't take it, but I'm just kind of showing you guys that with the continuation of the pattern from Friday and the continuation of the momentum, these stocks still have the volume and the traders in it that will fulfill out these patterns. And then there's plenty of ranges in this thing. If you notice here, it went down to 60, and the high of today was 66.30. So there's $6. There's 6 points within that you could have played in and out, try to make money out of this. But for something like this, my entry would have been here over 63.30. Stop here at 62. Enter over the highs here. Stop is here, about $1.30. Would have hit my 2-to-1 target. Would have all been fine. Now another company that came into mind when I said continuation play. This one actually didn't end up working out as well. I think it just, there wasn't enough range in it. Etsy from, what is this? So this is today, Friday, Thursday. Thursday reported earnings. They absolutely killed it. Now, Etsy did not finish near its highs, but it did pop up on my watch list, or not on my watch list, but it did pop up on my scan, and I noticed while it was up here. So this is the continuation play. So this is the very next day. I noticed here that it had come up, it pulled back, and it just kind of consolidated sideways. I went ahead and got in. If you guys remember, I actually ended up taking a loss on this, unfortunately, on Etsy. But the reason being, I think personally, with the data that I've collected over the past several years, is that if the stock doesn't really finish near its highs, it's not going to be as powerful the next day. Because if it finishes near its highs, that means that there's people still that are buying into it at the end of the day. There's investors still coming into it. But as you can see here, Etsy came up to 44.78, came back and ended up below VWAP. So typically you want it to be above VWAP. The daily here on Etsy, you'll notice here that the high was 44.78, but it actually ended up never really crossing. The next 2 days, it never actually ended up crossing its highs. So it didn't really quite cross that resistance point of the previous day's highs. But now that everything's kind of slowing down, I'm definitely going to pay more attention to these continuation plays. And something that's actually looking like a good continuation play for tomorrow is ARWR. So as of now, ARWR, I'm going to watch this at the end of the day and just kind of see where it ends up. Right now it's forming some sort of flag here. So as long as it finishes up above, let's see here, above VWAP, and it finishes near its highs, I think it will be on the list for tomorrow. I mean, it really all depends if it's going to be moving after hours and pre-market tomorrow a little bit. You just want it to be able to clear the 14, or at least be very close when it finishes at the end of the day near that area. So definitely going to have ARWR tomorrow on the list if it does end up finishing near its highs. I'm going to watch it for continuation plays, since we probably tomorrow won't have as many plays just like we did today. I know that today's Monday. A lot of companies don't really like putting out too much stuff on Mondays. Mondays are typically slow as well, but it's just we are out of earnings season and there's barely any companies reporting anything. Most of the stuff that's really coming out now are upgrades, downgrades, maybe if one company invests in another one, just like Google and JD. But as you can see, that one didn't really carry as much weight as you would expect it to, with the market being green, Google being such a big company. It didn't really do that much because JD is such a, I think it's sitting in the middle of its range right now. So JD opened up at 43 something, and it's got a lot of resistance basically coming up, and it's not really a big mover either. JD has got 711 million in float, but it did not do very well. It basically just gave back all the gains. If you'll notice here, JD is at 43.68. It closed, what did it close at? It closed at 43.63. So it gave back every single one of the gains. Let's see here what it's at. It's sitting at 0.19 for the day. So it was complete crap. I mean, there's no other word for it. It didn't set up at all. It just sold off for the rest of the day. So, but yeah, so hopefully that explains what continuation plays are. I'm not going to get into how I find continuation plays. I mean, I look for them on FinViz. I do a certain scan, but I'll get into that some other day. But you can actually just keep a track of the stocks that are the top gainers. Make sure that they end up near highs during that day, and then just keep it on the watch list for tomorrow. So as of right now, like I said earlier, keep an eye on ARWR. We'll see where it ends up today and if it's going to be on the list tomorrow. And that is it for today. Yeah. I feel like I haven't done one of these videos in a while for you guys. If you guys have any questions, like I always say, if you guys have any questions, make sure to put it down in the comments section below. If you guys have not joined our Facebook group, make sure to do that. We are up to 10,000 people on there. And it's investors, swing traders, day traders, and all that sort of stuff. Oh, also, big news. I'm not exactly sure on the date here, but my course is going to be coming out here very, very soon. I'm waiting back on a couple of things, and then the website is almost done. Almost done. I'm kind of proud of myself. I mean, it's not like super hard to do since a lot of it is sort of pre-made. I just wanted to make it a little bit more me, really, and I wanted to make it to the best ability that I could. So I'm not a computer website designer, whatever you want to call it. So that's definitely not me. So cut me a little slack. I think it turned out okay, but we'll see how you guys like it. But yeah, definitely keep an update on that. Follow us on the Facebook page, and then you guys will know when the course will be out. And I will see you guys very soon. Bye.